Hey now, welcome you guys to the Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. I am your host, Maria Cribbs.
I'm Josh Cribbs.
And Josh got his hair did.
Hey, I'm looking. Let me just put my shades on because that's how I feel. You know, when every guy get a haircut or he looking good.
Y'all be feeling yourselves?
A little bit. You know, I do walk past the mirror a little bit more.
I'm all for, you know, the self-grooming and the men grooming themselves. You look good though, babe.
Okay, show me later.
You know what I will show you? And viewers, how you doing? I'm glad y'all tuning in, watching us on the show, wherever you watching. Just shout out. What'd you say?
Show me how good I look later then. Do that for me.
You know what you could have showed me this weekend?
What can I have showed
I don't know what was going on with me this weekend. And viewers, maybe you might be able to attest to this. Maybe because the sun was shining, I just felt like I wanted to be outside cleaning up the house, right?
Okay.
Maybe y'all out there mulching, you know, gardening, whatever.
Okay.
And so I looked at the garage and I was like, man, our garage is in shambles.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and so I cleaned up I cleaned up our garage this weekend.
It was a tough winter, you know, spring.
Nah, our garage been like that for about 4 winters. You know,
it hasn't been. If
remember,
you think about the last time
on Game of Thrones, winter's coming?
Yes. Yes.
Our garage has been in shambles for a long time.
Has
and
the
I don't know
ice
if
bags,
it's just me,
the fertilizer.
But I don't know if it's just me. And, you know, I got a man that lives at home. I just feel like there's certain things as a woman I shouldn't have to touch when I got a man living with me.
I
and
agree.
I was in that garage for almost 5 hours. And y'all know it was hot this weekend. It was hot. It was humid. Did you feel bad, like walking in and out of the house, seeing me struggling in the garage the way that I was?
I should have recorded her. It took her so long. You know why? Because she was on the phone, girl. With the blower, talking on the phone the entire time.
I had my headphones on.
Talking the entire time.
I was talking on the phone and listening to inspirational videos on YouTube. Josh, how did it?
I didn't feel bad because you just said it yourself. You just was looking around randomly and said, I'm going to clean my garage.
When you had to step over things to get into the house, that means your garage is a hot mess. And I don't know where this notion has come to where people think the garage is like an extra trash can. No, the garage is an extension of your home. It should look just as good in your garage as it does inside your home.
So we know how Maria felt
because our home is in shambles because of you.
We know how Maria felt cleaning out the garage. What you thought I was about to come and take over? I thought you was doing a good job. I'm like, oh, you go, girl. Yep, y'all can do it all. Next, are you going to change the oil and the tires? I don't know. Whatever I can do, you can do, right? Ain't that what we say? Ain't no roles in the house, right? Exactly.
That sounds like something I said one time.
Yes.
That sounds like something. But this is my thing. We get on the show, we talk about sports a lot, right? We talk about sports a lot, right?
Yes, we do.
Would you sit there and let your quarterback struggle? Like, say you got Deshaun Watson just struggling, like, you know, like.
I can see if I was a lineman or, you know, I know we're not going to let our quarterback struggle.
But being married is a team.
Yeah.
You saw me in that garage struggling.
When you see me struggling on the couch listening or when you come in the room and I put down the laptop, do you be like, Josh, come on upstairs? No, you don't say for privacy time, Ryan. She doesn't say that.
Privacy time.
She don't.
Is that all you think about?
No. That's not
all men
I'm
think
just
about.
Saying.
Speaking of what men think about, we have another man in the room with us today. Can we give a shout out? Our first guest?
Our first one.
Chef Zay, welcome to the show.
Wow. Chef Zay in the building.
I'm sorry that you had to witness.
We had marital
we don't
issues.
usually act like that. We usually
usually take care. We usually
kumbaya. We love the Lord. How you doing today?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
You are the first guest.
Wow.
To be on the throne.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
The Garage Beer
Throne.
I am honored.
How does it feel?
It feels like I'm at my.
How's it feel on those buns of yours?
I mean, it feels like I'm on a 8% alcohol level.
Yeah, you're.
Why Chef Zay over there looking like he about to break out in song? Easy E over there.
Oh yeah,
man.
you got the
curls.
Speaking of men getting their hair done, like we need to know the curl routine. Like you definitely need to do some TikTok videos about how you get them curls popping like that. Is that a special? Is that a secret?
It's called water.
What set you?
He's blessed. He's blessed to just put water in his hair and just curl. It don't get frizzy with all this humid.
Well, see, that's where I got this hat on because up under here.
It be afro.
It's like a spider's nest.
Oh no, but you look good. And you look like you've been outside. You've been cleaning it. Like, okay, so are you in a relationship? Let me just ask.
Yeah.
Okay,
7 years.
He's in a relationship. Now, would you let your woman struggle cleaning the garage?
We didn't bring Chef Zay on the show for this.
Just come on.
We didn't bring him.
Come on, we can talk sports later.
If you took it upon yourself to go ahead and clean the garage out, I mean, why
you took it?
You should have consulted. Maybe let's do this together.
I'm gonna do the whole interview like this.
Preach.
You want to go out here and do this garage today? say no, but I'll do it since you asked.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Josh.
But
Chef Zay has spoken.
Let me ask
I don't
this,
want no,
though.
nobody, don't nobody.
Is it because you was trying to guilt trip? That's the real
Yeah.
question. Did you do it with intention behind?
The
That's the real
problem is it's
question.
been looking a mess for years.
I need a bells.
What kind of
I'm about to
We
turn
have
into
a
Bob here in a
winner.
second.
what type of man? I
He's
know, right?
preaching in here.
I need Bob in the house. I need Bob. I need somebody to beat up on.
Yes, but Chef Zay, we didn't bring, and viewers out
I'm
there,
sorry.
we didn't bring
I
Chef Zay
apologize, y'all. We
on
love
the
y'all.
show to worry about our issues that we have
It ain't
at the
our issue,
Cribs
it's your
household.
issue. Mhm.
No, we brought him on here because there's something special that Chef Zay has going on. Chef Zay, tell him about it, baby.
So finally, after 2 years, you know, we've been doing the commentary thing at home, and you know, foreshadowing what I want to do. And the crock pot's finally on wheels. We got our RV. Pick it up tomorrow.
What?
And once we do that, you ain't gonna see me in that room no more. You're gonna see me in the RV down at the Muni Lodge. Hopefully, some away. I see you in Vegas.
Yes.
So
You gonna be in
I,
Vegas?
I need to find. I need some sponsors. I need to get
Sponsors,
some fun.
where
He
you
need to
at?
fit-
Let's
He
get
trying to
Chef
get the
Zay.
crock pot on wheels.
So hold on, let
to
me
Vegas.
understand. You're going to be moving because I love what you do. The commentary
And
behind.
we got pics of it too.
Mhm.
The
Oh,
crock
you got-
pot on
So you're going to be
wheels.
moving from your studio
Yep.
into the RV,
Mhm.
filming live.
Yep.
But you're going to be on wheels, just traveling around from spot to spot.
So it started out with saying, yeah, Muni Lot. You know, that's the heart of the tailgate.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
Sundays
right.
when the Browns going.
Heck,
to see that,
absolutely.
or
It
you
goes
can go
down
to-
in the Muni Lot,
You
baby.
can go to West 6 or to under the bridge, but Muni
Right.
Lot's pretty much where it all goes
You should
down.
Right.
toggle it.
Yeah.
Toggle it a little bit.
Yeah.
Figure
Have,
out
like,
the sweet
polls and
spot.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I was like, man, we've got such a big following now that I really want to kind of go on the road and do away games. So
Mhm.
I think what I want to do is reach out to some Browns backers bars and who are at the away scenes and see if they
Absolutely.
want to, you know, form some type of collaboration. And
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll do the show there.
Browns fans,
Come on,
get
show
the
'em some
bars
love.
that y'all go to.
Right.
Chef Zay can show up at the front
Mm-hmm.
of at the bar outside for the tailgate party.
Yeah.
Do the show live at the tailgate party.
And he has
right?
a huge following. Anytime we put Chef Zay on the show, his fans come in and support
Yes.
us. So, you know, when you got own a business, that's what it's all about, getting advertising. So you sponsor him, he'll put your business out there. I love that.
Bob needs a sponsor too.
Yeah, Bob.
we
Bob.
need
Bob
them
needs
to-
a sponsor
Bob needs
so
a
he can wear the
girlfriend.
shirt.
We wear.
Bob might need a
Nah,
lady
'cause
friend.
then he'd be up there getting in trouble, slapping
You
the.
can't slap her. You can't
slap
slap her.
the girl.
No, no.
Next thing you know, she done been rock bottomed off the day.
yeah.
Patio. I can't do that.
I
Oh,
love that
man.
idea, man. We just last time I saw you was at the softball
Celebrity game.
event. Yeah, the celebrity softball game. And I was like, man, Chef Zay's doing his thing. I just feel like the movement behind fans doing the commentating behind the sports.
Right.
Y'all really know that y'all know the
Know the sports
players, y'all
in
know
and
the
out.
sports. Y'all have a love for the team. I just love to see what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
It's been a journey for sure because it only started out as just me sitting here watching the game on live and just kind of doing like a reaction and just interacting with the fans and stuff like that. And then it just slowly every game I was commentating a little bit more, and then I was like, oh well, let's post it, and then it kind of just all
Took off.
spiraled in a snowball effect.
Every fan can't do it though, like
Oh,
he
no.
can. So
Everybody
there are a
don't have
lot
his
of fan
personality.
sites.
Or those curls.
Right. You gotta bring something to the table.
Yeah.
And Chef Zay brings it to the table. We got the crock pot on wheels. I'm excited you finally got it going. I want him to stick around, Maria, because
Yeah, because speaking of
me,
bringing
Chef
it to the
Zay, and
table,
Ryan.
I'm gonna leave the table so y'all can talk sports.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
about
cool?
to
Because
do
I don't want no
sports.
parts of this. All right, look, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Chef Zay is in the building, so we're going to keep it going. Let's talk about some Brown sports for a minute. I got some questions for y'all. Chef Zay, Ryan, we're going to rattle them off. We're gonna dive deep into Browns football.
Let's do it.
go. Let's
Get it.
go. All right. Best Browns win from 2023. Now, when we're looking at that list from the best Browns victory of 2023, a certain amount of games come to mind. 4 or 5 at the most for me. I'm looking at that Pittsburgh game where DTR showed us that he can get the job done. I'm also looking at the San Francisco game where the big bad San Francisco 49ers, who were slated to beat everybody and win it all, came into town, but they couldn't leave with a victory. And then I'm looking at the Ravens when Deshaun Watson finally showed everybody after having a horrible first half, a horrible first half. He had the exact opposite second half and led us to a victory, showing us why he got that money, at least a glimpse of it. And then I'm asking you guys, what other games other than those three I named, DTR, were big? Were big. So I'm gonna go first. How about that?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get it. Let's see what you got.
I would hands down say Baltimore Ravens because everybody was against Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
He had immediately I think he threw a pick the first play of the game.
He did.
Threw a pick. And everybody was like, oh, I had sat in this seat right here on national TV, Good Morning America, Good Morning Football. You remember, Ryan?
I do remember that.
You were the
I do remember
producer.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
And I said Deshaun Watson will be a top 5 quarterback before the end of the year, right?
Oh, that's bold.
Bold. Because I believe in that. And I'm biased, Browns fans, you know. So for him to have that type game, which was the second quarter, second half, for him to have the half that we all needed him to have to come back and win, I think he showed not just Browns fans, not just Ravens fans, but the country, NFL fans, what he was made of.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens game was my biggest feel-good game. And I hate the Steelers still.
Yeah.
The same way. That's always a great win. But that's how I feel. What say you guys?
I mean, I think that's obvious. The obvious answer, because that was the moment when we finally were like, you know what? Maybe first round of playoffs is just the surface of what we were trying to get to, because Deshaun Watson finally did step up to the plate. We were down 14 in that second half, and he did come back and string together 14-14 and look like the quarterback we paid $230 million to. So I think you look at that game. You mentioned the 49ers game. The only thing I'll say about that game is it very easily could have been the other way.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Had he not missed the field goal, we ain't talking about the 49ers game.
Right. But it was sweet still.
It was still sweet because it was raining.
Yes.
Everyone, they were 5-0 at the time, or 4-0
And
at the
yes,
time.
and the country was watching.
And not a single person, including Browns fans, I think I was myself included, I'm just like, well, whatever happens, happens. No one really thought we had a shot. But I think you hit it on the head. But that Thursday night, that Jets game, late night, was fantastic as well. So
the Jets game. And who was the receiver?
Garrett Wilson, baby.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett
Wilson. Sorry about that. He has said and got in trouble with his fans talking about that game against the Jets and the lights, how magical, how this moment in Cleveland was everything he thought it would be for a professional athlete, even though they lost to us. So that is a close, I would say 3 for me. If I had to rate it, it'd be the Ravens. And then, of course, the Steelers, because I struggle with that being number 1. And then that game against that night game against the Jets to clinch our playoff victory.
Yeah,
Ryan?
I'm going with the Jets one. I mean, you look at it as a whole. It's a night game. Browns are in prime time. Whole world's watching. That was the game you not only clinched the playoffs, but you had Joe Flacco. That was the definition of Flacco fever, that game. And I think it brought the city together and gave us a real sense of hope that, we might do this thing. We're going to the playoffs. We got it locked. And Joe Flacco might actually take us to the AFC Championship game. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition, but just the fact that moment when the season at a point looked so bleak, so down, so ruined, Joe Flacco came out there, threw for over 350 yards. And then, like you said, even everybody in the world, Garrett Wilson, his own self, came out and said how crazy energetic the fans were, how beautiful Cleveland Stadium looked like at night. It really was a cherry on top for that whole regular season.
So you got the Jets game over that Steelers game with DTR.
Yeah, I do.
Because that started Flacco fever.
You're right.
Because we won in front of the world again. And so I agree. I mean, I still have my Steelers, us beating the Steelers, because it's always just such a electric atmosphere when our fans can taste victory against the Steelers.
I agree with that. I just want to give honorable mention to the Texans game, the one we won.
Okay.
Because, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, Amari Cooper broke the record, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget how he broke that record. He was pulled from the game. Him and Joe Flacco were both pulled from the game. And then they came back
they started scoring on us.
Started scoring again.
Yes.
And then out of nowhere, you see Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper come back in the game, and just to see that, it was one of those things where it's like, man, that's another. Browns don't do that. Like,
right.
Once they out, they out.
Right.
Just to see them do that, it shows you that they're here. They understand the
Absolutely.
moment, and it's like, okay, let's go out there and get it then. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
Amari Cooper was on the sideline like, oh, can I go back in for another
Yeah,
job? And coach
yeah.
is like, nah, you're done.
And I
You're
think
done.
that's what made the playoff loss to the Texans
Mm-hmm.
such a eerie feeling. No pun intended, being on Lake Erie. But it felt weird because we just blew them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had graphics and everything going into that first playoff game. Hey, we're supposed to beat CJ Stroud and them boys.
Mm-hmm.
Because we did it last week without him, actually. So I think that made it. You also mentioned that the other game. You thought that the game against the Ravens wouldn't be your best because we lost Deshaun right after that.
Yeah. So that I vividly
Left a bad
remember
taste in your mouth on that.
It was like that moment where how we talk about things don't happen to the Browns. That was as Cleveland Browns as it get.
Right.
You're in the moment. You're sitting there, and you're like, we just beat the best team in the league.
Yes.
We put the world on. We just beat them. We were down 14.
Exactly.
Came back and beat them with our quarterback leading the way 14-14. No sign of any injuries or nothing, and then you just get this message: Watson out for the year.
Right.
Like that was
I was
the
sick to my
biggest
stomach.
blow.
I was mortified.
And we thought the season was over.
I was on get back. I was working my Twitter fingers.
I was sitting at my daughter's chapel service because she had chapel every Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And right as it was getting ready to close, I almost said it out loud. I'm like, oh my God, no way. Like, I couldn't even focus the rest because
I thought he was
just
about to
like,
say, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I
like
wanted to.
in church.
I wanted to
They was
because
like,
it was
"Curse
so
the
bad.
demon right there." but I promise you, like you just said, you felt.
Mhm.
I was before I heard the news. I was in the car working them Twitter fingers and
Mhm.
going at the national pundits, going at people who said Deshaun wasn't going to be this or he wasn't going to be that, or the Browns weren't going to be this year. We're going to have this many wins. I was like, yeah, I told y'all the Browns, exclamation point, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we are here and we're back. And then the news came down. I was like, is it April? I was hoping it was April 1st.
Mhm.
But it's not. It's in the fall. I was
No.
like, what can this be? Because we suffered such a great loss, a great victory the day before, and then a great loss the day after.
We
So
didn't even get 12 hours. It was
Not
literally
even.
like 8 hours later we get that news. Like, I just don't understand how there was nothing leading up to that. It was just so sudden.
right,
Like, we didn't see the tackle where it happened. I mean, obviously, you go back and you look at it now. I
Uh-huh.
think they have the play where it might have happened. But I think that's a lot of credit to Deshaun Watson and the fact that he can play through it. We know
Right.
he can play through those type of injuries, and he showed us yet again that he could play through them.
I think he showed that he has the it factor.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't about the stats. It was the fact that when the lights cut on, you're down, and we need somebody to step it up. Because look, that Ravens game, he didn't do it by himself. The defense was on point. Hopkins was on point. He had an entourage, but he started us. He gave us that momentum. The defense, Newsome caught that pick, ran it back in. I still listen to your highlights. When I'm trying to get hyped about that season, about last year, I'm watching your highlight. You was like, oh my God, and was all up on Bob. Was like, let's go.
It was a Okaronka Roka gently down Newsome stream.
Yes.
I don't know where it came from, but it came out of nowhere. I was
Yes.
like, oh man, that game, I think, like talking selfishly, of course, that game changed the whole scale of the crock pot because that game, I don't know why, because I've had viral videos before, but it changed the scale for that, and it also changed the scale for the whole team because then it was like, okay, the Browns didn't just beat the Cardinals, or they didn't just beat this team that
Right. That don't
supposed
matter.
to beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
They beat the best team with Lamar Jackson.
Who everybody
MVP.
still, kind of like the San Francisco 49ers, had counted us out.
At
Real-
their place.
Exactly. At their home, which is hard to play in.
Yep.
Real quick, let's talk about the greatest loss that we had last year that we wanted back. Not the playoff game, not versus but regular season. Not versus the Tennessee Titans, regular season. When I look at some notable games that we lost, because we only lost 6 games. When I'm looking at the season, I had us about that, 11 and 12 and 6? 11 and 6?
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I selfishly, biasly, yes, I had us probably losing against San Fran, but I had us with 11 wins. I don't care how we do it. I just want us to get that many. But when I look at the schedule from last season, I see we lost to, the Seahawks. I thought we should have won that game. I'm looking at that West Coast string of games that we lost. The Broncos, the Rams. You know, those are games I felt we should have won those games. And I'm not even talking about, of course, the Bengals. We didn't need the Bengals, remember?
Yeah.
So that doesn't even count.
Jeff Driscoll.
So which game do y'all believe?
Well, if I had to pick, I think I would.
Between one of the West Coast games, or
I was thinking that Rams game was just because the score doesn't really tell the whole story. Yeah, you look at it, and I think they put up 30-something points that game. But that game got away from us towards the end of the game. We were there.
Right.
Flacco was in his bag.
right.
But I think you got to go to the second game of the season. And that was when not only did you lose to the Steelers, but you lost Nick Chubb that game.
You took that from my mind. You was talking West Coast. I was like, you know what? I'm bringing it to another game.
Right.
Because we lost Nick Chubb.
You lost Nick Chubb, and I actually cried that game because
You heard
feel
that,
for
ladies
the
and
player.
gentlemen. First time on the show, on the return, Chef Zay, he cried.
I mean,
You let it go.
there was so much emotion riding
It was.
because it was like, not only did you just see Nick Chubb go down, you know what type of guy he is, you know what he brings to the table, but it's like second game of the season, you just beat the Bengals,
Right.
Confident, 24-3 at home,
Right.
Your defense looked unbelievable. You threw a pick six on the first play of the game, right?
First play, right.
And then the defense still held it together, and Deshaun Watson and the offense still found a way to put points up on the board. And this is after the fact that you just lost the heart
And
and
we
soul of
was
your team.
moving it down the field.
Jerome
So we got to
Ford.
understand. Yeah, Jerome Ford, he held his own.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to remember when Nick Chubb got injured, we were in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
That happened on a march. I didn't care no more about that game once Nick Chubb went down. So that's the only reason, and I won't say that because I won't say that that's the game, not just because you picked it, but because I didn't care once Nick Chubb got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care about the game anymore.
It was hard.
He's that much of an impactful player. I coached him. I
Mm-hmm.
know what type of guy he is. Silent leader. We were all hurt. You said you cried. My heart was in my stomach, dropped all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, what say you?
Yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, the worst one's got to be the Steelers loss. You're not only losing to your most hated rival, like you said, you're losing the lifeblood of your team, the heart and soul in Nick Chubb. So just to not reiterate that, I'll just go with the Seahawks one. You're coming off the heels of that great win against the 49ers. You put the world on notice. And we threw that game away. PJ Walker at the end of the game pretty much threw it away. There were a couple questionable play calls from Kevin Stefanski, but I'll never get on Kevin Stefanski for that. I think he's an amazing play caller. I think he's a great head coach. But just that was another time that you could have kept the momentum going, and then obviously you went to that West Coast. You had the little lull there. So I'll just go with that one. That one because it was right in our grasp, and we let it go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't even name one, but one of those West Coast games, we lost all of them.
Yep.
We went out to the West Coast and we lost every single game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a terrible representation of what we were as a team.
And it's funny because D'Anthony Bell was actually on my podcast, and I asked him, I was like, what was the turning point of the season for you guys? And I was thinking San Francisco. I was thinking somewhere along those lines where you
win.
were beating those games. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he went straight to those two losses. He said the Broncos game and the Rams game was where the turnaround was coming. Number one, you're on the road multiple weeks, the bonding that they had, and the fact that they all got to sit in that locker room and be like, they did not like that feeling of losing like this. So when you look back at those two West Coast games, it's also kind of funny sitting here being as a Browns fan because if you think about it, we always won those games that were out of the conference or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the fact that it's flip-flop now where it's like, okay, we can look at those West Coast games. Sure, we lost to the Rams and
Right.
that, but it's like, are we winning the division games or are we winning the games at home?
Exactly.
And we are. So you kind of take it how you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, the conversation is going great. We're going to take a commercial break and we're going to chain up Chef Zay to the building. He's going to stick around with us. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Chef Zay is still in the building. Just a little bit more NFL talk real quick, guys. I have one more question for you before I give you my Pro Bowl analysis. I want to run this question back by you. If Joe Burrow doesn't have a good year, is he still considered an elite quarterback? if Joe Burrow doesn't have if Joe Burrow doesn't have a good season this year, I ain't talking about he struggles, he's injury prone this year, and he just makes it through. If he don't put I might as well go ahead and say if they don't make the playoff, but if statistically Joe Burrow doesn't put up a good season, can we still say he's elite?
I would say it all depends. I mean, because look at it. He's gone to a Super Bowl. The quarterbacks that we call elite in this league, okay? Josh Allen, and he's a very good player. He's never been to a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I mean, Lamar Jackson.
Well, he might be on
Lamar
those
Jackson,
next.
a 2-time MVP. He's an elite quarterback. Never been to a Super Bowl.
Oh.
There's plenty
Got
of
a
people,
point.
but Joe Burrow has, and I think that can't be understated. What he did to turn that franchise around, that included, he did such an amazing job in Cincinnati. And don't get me wrong, I hate the Bengals more than any other team. I've made that pretty clear in my life, but I can't hate against Joe Burrow because I think he's a great example of a leader, not only in the game of football, but outside. I mean, I see him doing so much stuff outside of football, but you can tell he's still so focused when he gets there.
Right.
And I understand he has weapons. He's got Jamar Chase, one of the best receivers in the league,
He
but you go
does.
look at his numbers.
He got a
and
plethora.
and what do we do? We talk about elite quarterbacks. What do? They beat other elite quarterbacks. Joe Burrow's the only one to do that against Patrick Mahomes at this point in Patrick Mahomes' career outside of Tom Brady.
You
So
make a
I'm
good
still calling
point.
him. I'm still calling.
He preaching
I'm
over
still
there.
calling Joe Burrow elite.
It's funny because he's clearly elite.
Right.
Like, I don't think when you watch him play, it's almost like watching a young Tom Brady. I don't want to say a young Tom Brady. That's high.
Right.
You know, that's high to put him up there. But when you watch him play, he never looks panicked. But to your point, how you talk about the Lamar Jacksons, Josh Allens of the world, the Patrick Mahomes, it's kind of like it's the aura around social media and everything. It's not flashy enough.
Right.
Joe Burrow's not scrambling out of the pocket, making guys miss, doing his thing, but he is standing in the pocket, taking hits and delivering a dart to Jamar Chase across the field. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So it's like, is he the flashy elite guy? No, but anybody who thinks Joe Burrow is not elite talent, and I hate how much I love Joe Burrow because I think he actually is that good.
Okay.
To answer your question, I think they would have to. I don't think you can have that question unless he's
Healthy for
throwing
2
you
years.
games. I think he has to throw games.
Okay.
You have to look at him and be like, dang, they lost because of Joe Burrow. Like,
Right.
I think even if they miss the playoffs and he goes out and throws 4,500 yards,
Right.
29 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns, he's still probably holding his own, I would say.
Okay.
But if you're looking at him and it's like, dang, you're clearly not winning because of Joe Burrow.
Right.
That's when I think you can start having the conversation. I
Okay.
just don't think I could. I'm not there yet. I'm a
Okay,
big
you
fan.
guys have sold me. You sold me on the idea because I was thinking, man, like name wasn't called. We own him
Mm-hmm.
as a franchise. I mean, Baker had good success against him.
Yep.
And I mean, we play against the Bengals. We match up good against them. But he plays well, like you said, Ryan. He's beaten some tough quarterbacks. But you guys have sold me. Yes, I think he has a Super Bowl victory. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Took the Bengals.
Because of him.
Yeah, because of him.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I think if he doesn't have a good year, we can still consider him as an elite quarterback.
But I know why you went there, and I think do you credit Zach Taylor or Browning? Because when Browning got into that system,
That's
There-
you opening
you were-
up the
you were
whole nother
hearing-
debate.
you were hearing him say, Burrow's a system quarterback.
Right.
And then that slowly faded away when you saw that it wasn't necessarily the system.
Exactly.
But it does pause some questions for you. It's like, okay, well, Jake Browning had a little bit of success. Is
Yes.
it all Joe Burrow or is it the weapons that he got?
Exactly.
And we may
Exactly.
see a glimpse of that, in a year or two.
And
when
that's
T.
why I
Higgins not there.
said it has to be, not has to be, but that's why I said if he doesn't do anything this year,
Mhm.
he's in it. He already knows the system, has a new guy, has his guy. So what will he be if he's not, statistically there? So I say he's still elite. You guys have sold me on that. One more question before I let you go. The Pro Bowl has been dead, right?
Mhm.
I played Pro Bowl games, back in the day. We played Pro Bowl, went there, and it was an actual game.
Yeah.
But now it's 7-on-7. It's skills challenges. I'm not saying that they will do this. I think more money needs to be put into the pot for players to actually play and have a significant, like wanting to put their bodies on the line. So I wrote down something. Instead of like NFC versus AFC, I think it needs to be a 4-game playoff, so to speak, versus AFC North, AFC South, AFC East versus the AFC West and South. So Eastern North, North and East versus the South and West, right? And we play in a different, just a regular city, a neutral city, if that's a hot city because it's going to be in cold weather.
Right.
And then the NFC North versus the NFC East. And again, y'all see where I'm going with
It's
this.
kind of like a bracket.
And we find out who has the best division in football, like a bracket like that.
They need to bite off of like the MLB. Doesn't the MLB have it to where the All-Star game is if the AL or NL wins, whoever wins, they get like the.
It used to be that way. They changed. They got rid of it.
Yeah. See, there has to be because nowadays I don't know if money is the end all be all because everyone's making
Because they making so much.
You know what I mean? And I think it has to be, and they're not gonna make the game more physical. You know, like we want.
Right. Because it wasn't physical when I played too much.
Right.
But for those next guys, it is, though.
I think it has to be more so one of those things where it's like, what can they get real active at that is not going to jeopardize any of their sponsorships?
I don't think nothing.
Because
football is a gladiator sport.
Just go real straight 7-on-7s, or maybe like do some like
because
one-on-ones.
then you won't see your Myles Garrett. You won't see your unless they're going to use backup players, and not have your AFC North Lamar Jackson, all the starters in the AFC North versus, you know what I'm saying? Like people want to see those stars go hard for 1 or 2 games.
Maybe go with your theory where you have it.
I want to say the AFC North versus everybody. I think this is the best conference.
That's not a question.
And then play in London, play in Brazil, and then change their jerseys to make them reflect a Brazil, like playing in Brazil against that, like all world teams. But the AFC, like the NFL on a global stage.
They got to do something.
And they will get a lot of money from this. But I think right now, as it stands, the Pro Bowl is dead.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not interested in seeing the 7-on-7 because we got real 7-on-7 guys out there playing. And the NFL to me is a joke when they do it because it ain't for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see guys do it at semi-pro level, man, they be out there giving it their all.
Yeah, they do.
So right now, until we get something that's valuable and the fans want, the Pro Bowl doesn't compete with other professional sports because of the contact.
It's just so watered down, the money.
Yeah.
I think it's all got to do with the money. They making too much money to care.
You right.
You know what I mean?
I
$1 million
agree.
ain't going to move them.
You right.
So unless you get these guys that ain't making the $1 million, they'll go out there and play. But what is Denzel Ward and Patrick Mahomes?
Because why? Why do they need it?
They don't need to.
I guess that's where the game has gone.
So before I do get out of here, you came through on your promise. You said, I got you with a signed jersey.
Yes, sir.
That's going up on the RV for sure.
Yes, sir.
What you got? Hold on, what you
Man,
got?
open that. Give that to me right there.
John, he love gifts too. Oh my God, big old kid.
Feel like it's Christmas.
Oh shoot, here it go.
I don't never get nothing. I hope this ain't no socks.
You don't get nothing because you don't clean the garage.
Tie.
Oh, give me one. He got 2. Hold on, let me.
It's just one.
It's 2 of them.
Oh yeah, baby.
Get off the field and got him knocking out balls. And it got the crock pot down there.
You know what this is. Get off the field
Give
for
me
the
that.
defense.
Give me that.
Let me see.
It's mine. It's the same one. It's mine.
Should be a couple wristbands in
Yeah.
there.
It's a wristband.
And this one for the dog that he gave me right here. So I got one for me.
Was that both of those for him, Chef?
I mean, one for you.
Oh,
of course.
Okay, yeah. You
Here
being
you go.
rude.
Here
He
you
got
go.
some wristbands in there too,
Oh,
Josh.
okay.
Is they in there?
Okay.
Chef's like,
Yeah.
thank you
All
so
the
much.
goodies.
Look, we got. Can
Bring
people buy
gifts.
these?
Yeah, crockpotcle.com. You get that shirt's on there. The one I'm wearing is on there. I'm thinking about dropping a limited edition one that's only gonna be select few and look out for that. But yeah, crockpotcle.com.
Crockpotcle.com. Can I get you to autograph this before you go?
Oh, you want
Okay.
you want my
I want
want the
your.
Chef Zay
You never had nobody
special.
ask you for your autograph?
I've had it still feels weird.
We want your autograph. Is that
Okay,
cool?
I got you.
We know big things
Absolutely.
coming up. So, all right, look, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now you guys, welcome back to the show. Now, for a few weeks ago, Josh and I were all fired up about, horse racing, and I was learning the
Yes,
ropes
we
and everything.
was.
And it's because of this man right here, Ken Miles. Welcome to the show.
What's up, kid?
Welcome back.
wow.
No, not
Welcome
welcome to. Welcome back to the show.
Well, I gotta tell you, it's been quite a ride.
I mean, it really had, but you had us like, I'm like, how do I bet? How do I put this on there?
Ken owes me a place to live because after I
That's how it
finally put everything
We
I
finally
have
figured
on
out how to
Seize the
bet.
Gray. Man, we talked about this a few weeks ago where
That's how it is, though.
Maria, your mom kept alerting us on Seize the Gray.
Not the first race.
And
even
we
the
were
second
late.
race.
We were late on Seize the Gray the first time.
Yep.
The second race, we was right there watching, and I was fumbling around like, how can I bet on Seize the Gray?
Right,
And then
right.
he won again.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is crazy. So then we finally bet the house on Seize the Gray.
Seize the Gray, baby.
Ken, tell us about the in the midst of the Belmont.
Yes.
When Seize the Gray, talk about how you guys were in the owner's box.
Yeah.
Seize the Gray had built this momentum.
Had that lead, though,
Put us in
Ken.
that. Put us in that
Environment,
picture, that
yeah.
moment.
Well, I'm going to, but you know what? It just hit me. I can't. Now I know what happened. Josh bet.
We messed up. And so when I was betting, something told me, I was like, something doesn't seem right about this.
It's
But I
like
didn't know
gambling.
Yeah,
You got to read
yeah.
those signs.
Yeah.
But I already missed out two times.
Twice before.
I was like, I'm not going to miss out again.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly was spectacular,
Yes, it
and
was.
I appreciate all the fan support. But winning the Preakness was unlike anything we've ever experienced, and that's one of the beautiful things about my racehorse. Not only were Mary and I an owner of the horse, but so were 2,700 microshare owners through my racehorse. And so we go to the Preakness after we won some races, and we weren't getting a whole lot of media attention and media love. But then when we won, I tell people, by the time Mary and I got back to the stall to greet Seize the Gray, it was like the National Guard of Maryland was protecting that horse
Wow.
and the stall, because he's
Don't
now
let nobody
slow.
get close to
He
him.
is-
Right. So now we go to the Belmont, and of course, we're
Seize the Gray had his own private eye
Oh,
security.
yeah, yeah.
Secret
Private
Service.
detail.
Yeah.
private detail, and it was very different. Everybody wanted to talk to us at Belmont, and so for the time of the race, Fox was doing it, and they had as you said, they had an owner's box. And so Mary and I and Michael Behrens and his wife, the CEO of My Racehorse, and I think it was about maybe other 6 people from My Racehorse were behind us in the box. And they put 2 giant cameras on us to get our reaction during the race. And so, of course, Seize the Gray is leading for about 3/4 of the race.
Yes, he was.
And what they were doing is they were capturing content so that after the fact they could show whoever won to the audience. So what
react-
we were
yeah,
going
they
is
react
I'm
in real
figuring,
time.
we're going to win again. I better start putting on a show. So I'm
Yeah.
grabbing Mary and I'm doing,
Yeah.
and then we kind of went in reverse and we didn't have the greatest finish. And when the race was over, we laughed because we saw the guys from Fox just hit delete on both their cameras and walk
Don't
away.
delete it later, not in my face.
Man.
Oh, it was.
You could have went to our reactions. I was like, no, what is he doing?
I
He's
know.
winning. He was winning.
It's like that sometimes. Sometimes you just run out of gas.
Yeah,
Like,
I got sick to my stomach because it's just we had our whole families.
We was like,
We called
Tell you,
everyone.
this horse gonna
Like
win.
we had a fix. I mean, you could think we had a fix on the game. We was like, look, whatever you doing, I don't even know if you bet on horses.
Right.
Put it all on Seize the Gray.
But no, that's
We were
how it
telling
is.
everybody
You
that.
never know. Every race is different,
Put
right?
it on Seize the Gray.
Every race is different, but I got to tell you a couple real quick inside stories
Okay.
here. So Jamie Torres, our jockey, very young, 25-year-old. Wayne Lucas, our trainer, took a chance on him and said, hey, it's the Preakness. A lot of jockeys were saying, hey, let me ride your horse. It's a World Cup. Wayne said, I'm going to stick with him. He got us here. And the goal was to get to the lead, control the pace. And so in the Preakness, we're watching and we get to the lead. And it was a real sloppy, rainy day, real sloppy track. And you imagine how you were feeling.
Right.
Think of what we were feeling. So then he comes around and he gets to the home stretch. And in comes his horse, Mystic Dan. And we're very nervous, and then Seize the Gray just goes in another gear and wins. And what Jamie said to us, he goes, I never even really asked the horse to do anything. He did it on his own. Well, by the time we get to the Belmont, he had run like 4 races in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So the goal was, let him do his thing. When we get to the home stretch, if he gets pressed, give him a tap.
Yep.
But if he doesn't respond, don't push him because
Back
you don't
off.
want to hurt him. So we're in the lead, and we're like, oh no, he's gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Now we get to the home stretch, and he didn't have anything in his tank, so Jamie just pulled him up.
Yeah.
For the rest of the world, they're like, what happened? He went in
Right.
reverse.
Yeah,
He
Right, but
went
you
from
guys-
lead into
You
back.
guys see the
They gave him some
intricate.
grace.
Those are the intricate parts that people don't understand about horse racing and its jockeys, the
Yeah.
horses and its jockeys. And if I'm the owner, can I kick him, tap him?
No. No,
Come on, baby, we got it.
No, because here's the thing.
Go number 3.
There's so many more races to go yet
Right.
this year.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to ask you about the season. Like,
Right.
when is, like, how does, we know football season.
What's next for him?
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, we said, all right, you deserve a break. We're going to give you the best oats. We're going to give you the best grass.
Yes,
You go,
yes.
go
Vacation.
kind of go chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did, and we're probably looking at a race at Monmouth Park in New Jersey, the end of July. Will
In
probably
July.
be when it was, and it's $1 million race. So there's some big races.
Wow.
Trying to become the horse of the year. That'll be in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Those final races in November out in Del Mar in California.
Okay.
And so there's still a lot of big plans
Right.
for him. And you
So
know,
he didn't
horse-
have to put everything into that
No,
race.
no.
Once
So-
he already personally as a horse was like, I'm good right here.
Yeah.
It was good for him.
Especially
to
when he's
just
saying what he
take it
was
off.
doing in the
Yeah.
other 2 races was kind of just running off of instinct. So
Right.
The
Yeah.
jockey really
Kinda
didn't
let
have to
the horse
tap.
lead him.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
But you know, there's such a big personality of these horses, and each one has their own way of doing things. And the jockey gets very attached. Certainly, the trainer Dean Wayne Lucas, who's world class, knows what's going on. And then you've got people like Mary and I, and the other owners. You know, you spend time with your horse at the stall, and then you know all the pre-hype and the media. You become very emotionally
Invested.
Right.
attached.
Yeah.
Right.
And
we were for you.
I
Like,
got
we
it.
were like, we
I
felt
got a
like,
question for you, Ken.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can we get excited? Yeah.
Yeah, because we were excited. And is there a moment that you give your horse a lecture or like a win one for me? Or, I mean, just
like
anything,
Mr. Ed. Like Mr.
you
Ed.
look at the horse and you say, all right, Caesar Gray, we're going to do this now. Is there
Yeah,
anything
so-
like
what's our
that
plan?
that happens?
So you know, it's funny you say that because there is to a degree. I don't
Okay.
want to embellish it too much, but Mary and I, you know, we get there a couple days before the race, and you go back to the stall, and it's more relaxed, and you're with your horse, and he's playful, and we got pictures. You know, he sees the gray would come out of his stall and kind of lick
Beautiful.
and kiss Mary, and he's a very personable horse. You know, kind of like a dog in that
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
You know, very personal, and so that's when you talk to him, and you know,
Yeah.
you want to tell yourself that
Like, we got
he's
your back.
understanding what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You know, when I go, hey, Caesar Gray, there's this Josh and Maria Chris.
Uh-huh.
They
They're
put
dear
their house
friends.
on it.
You know,
And we really need this. So you can help
We're
us out.
counting on you.
Josh
right.
put his house on the line
Right,
for
right,
you. But on the day of the race, very different. Probably like, you know, Josh.
Right,
You know,
right.
when it's game day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's kind
no,
of focused.
you
Leave him
know, you don't-
alone.
And they
Does he know it's
he
game?
knows
Okay,
it's game
okay.
day.
Wow.
It's a very different experience. I'm getting chills telling the story.
Yeah.
We know
Uh-huh.
it's game day. When you go back to the stall, everybody's just a little bit on edge. It's a very different feel. But what I'm so happy about is what we're doing is we're giving people a chance to see it through Seas the Gray, but now the big play horse. And that's some exciting stuff to talk
Right.
about too.
Now,
Tell
have
us
you-
about that.
Have you heard any names for the big play horse yet? Any names stuck out for you? Because we asked fans, even on X, like, yeah, give us some names. We got the big play horse coming. People have been saying big play.
Yeah.
Like anything unique
Okay,
stick out so
All
far?
right, so I'm going to announce on your show right now.
Uh-oh.
Exclusive, baby.
Here we go. The naming contest is officially open.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And so what we want you to do is go to bigplay.com/horse
Okay.
and submit your name. And for those of you that are on Twitter, you can follow it because we're going to put some things out on Twitter and a couple other ways that you can vote. But what we're looking for is people to name the big play horse. Now, right now, the horse is going by the name Lahaina Luck 22.
Lahaina
And I may
Luck.
have said this before. The horse takes the name of its mother for the first year. The horse stays with it. The baby stays with the mother.
Okay.
And the mother's name was Lahaina Luck. And so our horse is Lahaina Luck. He was born in 2022, so he's Lahaina Luck 22.
Okay.
And that's his name until we come up with the official name. Now, we didn't buy him until he was 2 years old. And the reason we wanted to buy a 2-year-old, and we've been scouting this guy for a long time, was he's close to racing. So right now he's after the combine, if you will, of horses, which we can talk about. And then we goes to the auction, everybody bids on him, and we won the bid. We have him, and now he's resting and getting muscled up. But Dean Wayne Lucas, the same trainer
Dwayne
Uh-huh.
of Seas the Gray,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, him right there.
he's going to be training our
Lahaina Luck.
horse.
Okay.
He's going to be training our horse, and we'll probably send him to D. Wayne in about the next 2 or 3 weeks. But in the meantime, we want to come up with a name. So here's what you think about.
Okay.
You can come up with any name you want. I mean, you could call it the Josh and Maria Cribbs horse or whatever you want.
Has
but
a ring to it.
Got a ring to it. Got a ring to it. Maybe it's Maria and Josh. I like that ring too. But you also, there's a mindset, doesn't have to be this way, that you keep the lineage of the horse's family in mind. So I'll give you an idea. The horse's dad name was Improbable.
Oh,
Improbable. Okay.
improbable.
The mother was Lahaina Luck. So we've already had a submission of Improbable Luck.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And I can tell you, a lot of people.
That's a good one.
That's
That'll
nice
be
one.
one of the names. So here's what we're going to do. We're asking our audience to submit names. We're going to take probably the top 5
Okay.
and then put it out to a vote. We'll get it to the 2 finalists, and then there'll be a champion awarded, and you could have be the one that named the
Say
horse.
I named the horse. So they go to bigplay.com/horse
Get in on
to
it.
vote on it. Excuse me. To
Submit
put
names.
Submit a name. Okay. All right.
Submit the names and
like
watch our different
Improbable
social
Luck.
media channels.
You like
Yeah,
you like Improbable Luck?
So you got to beat that one. Beat Improbable Luck.
I'm
If
just-
not, that might be the one.
That might be the one.
Unless we just call it Big Play.
That's what I was thinking. Big play.
Big Play
money
around the
bag,
corner.
Something.
Big Play.
Yeah.
Big Play wins.
I mean, come on, big play. I like that too, though.
Yeah, no, it's good. So,
BPN.
so I
Big
just
Play Network.
wanted to give you some thoughts.
Okay.
But, so people ask me, so tell us a little bit more about the horse. But if you go to go to bigplay.com/horse, you'll see the story of the horse and you'll see pictures of them. We're going to post a lot of pictures. But, I was talking about that combine, much like you probably went to the combine before the NFL draft. These horses, the people that owned Lahaina Luck, who owned our baby, took him to the horse combine. And that's where everybody watches him run, and that's where you get your rating,
Like, do I want
Yeah.
that?
so that people come to the auction and ultimately buy them.
And
And
bid
so
on 'em.
Okay.
it's incredible. But what we want to do at Big Play is give everybody the behind the scenes. We're going to have some video coming up in the next week or two of where he's at right now. And we're going to watch the whole progress.
Okay.
So it's not just about race day.
Yeah.
It's
You get to
about
watch the
giving
behind
you
the scenes.
behind the scenes.
Yes.
We're going to have events where we go and spend time with the horse.
This needs to have its own social account,
Yeah,
and then
so we
just do
need to get-
reels.
Yes.
And let them watch the whole process of this
Yep.
horse
'Cause
getting ready to prepare.
absolutely.
It's really amazing the ups and downs and again what we want to do is bring the experience to everybody, and that's really what My Racehorse is all about. And so if you haven't already bought a share of this horse, go to again bigplay.com/horse.
The QR code is right there
Information right
on
there.
the screen.
And you get the information at
And
myracehorse.com.
then you click the button to buy, and that's where it'll take you to actually buy it.
Okay.
So-
remember when Ken was on the show last time? We talked about myracehorse.com, which is their partner,
QR code
their
is right
company,
there, yep.
where you can have the micro share of the horses. So if you ever wanted to be involved in horse racing and have you a horse,
Here's
this
your
is your
chance.
opportunity to have
But
it.
go to this page, and
But go to-
and this will drive you right to it through our
Yep. So go to
funnel.
bigplay.com/horse, right?
BigPlay/horse.
Yeah.
And that's where you see it. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you this is just the starting point. But picture this. Think as we build up to our horse's first race, the watch party that we're going to have here.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe
It's gonna
even
be
have
crazy.
some people at the race, whatever the case. But I think it'll be fun to have our audience here.
Yep.
It's gonna be like
And-
a boxing match.
And whoever wins the
How-
naming contest should probably be in attendance.
Put 'em
You
some
know,
shorts
it's gonna be
on.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I
that'd
want the
be
ladies
nice.
to dress up in their
Oh,
Yeah,
like-
and
like
the
Kentucky
Kentucky
Derby?
Kentucky
Derby.
Derby.
Okay.
I want the boys in their best
hats and
threads.
stuff,
We'll
yeah.
come up with our Big Play drink for
There
our
you go.
It's
debut
gonna be
horse.
real rich.
And we'll have a lot.
Now you're talking. Now you're
And we'll have a lot of fun.
We'll
We'll
have-
have some giveaways and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's a journey.
One thing we do at Big Play is we get to business, but we also have fun. And Ken,
Absolutely.
you're one of the people behind, like the main man is always encouraging us to have a good time and
how it's
just,
supposed to
live
be.
our best life. Ken, can we just say thank you so much for joining us? I can't wait to find out what the name's going to be to the horse.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to go to a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now you guys, welcome back to the show. I want to give you all a heads up. Starting July 15th, Target will no longer be allowing their customers to write checks. Now, when I read this, I was like, wait a minute, people still write. When's the last time you wrote a check, Josh?
You write the checks in the family.
But
I don't
anytime-
remember
okay,
me
so
write
This is the little thing about our family.
charities.
Anytime somebody sends me something that requires me to, they send me an invoice and it requires me to write a check.
It's usually
I
to pay
don't
a bill.
Yeah, but I don't pay it. It's weird. I'm like, oh shoot, I still owe them. That's 90 days old.
Right.
I just don't write checks. I don't even own any stamps.
Right.
Every time I need to mail
You
something
used
off,
to. We used to get stamps.
like
I
10
think-
years ago.
Yeah, some years ago.
Yeah.
Because everything's moving to digital. You know, you can
Man.
pay. Usually now, I don't even carry my wallet around because of Apple Pay.
Exactly.
And it's just crazy. I just hop on the car. I'm just like, look at my phone, Apple Pay, and pay off over the phone.
Yeah. So when I saw Target was doing that, I remember the one time I was in line behind somebody and they were writing a check, and I'm like, are you
Like,
serious?
are you
I
writing a
got to
check
go.
right now?
Right.
You're supposed to be in and out.
So this is actually for my mom. Mom, I know you still write checks. Those days are coming to an end. And
Yeah,
you
that-
and you
it's
know
holding
what,
the line up.
Josh? Right. Speaking of something else that might be coming to an end, why was I on X last night and the hashtag RIP Cartoon Network
What?
was going viral?
Cartoon Network?
Like Cartoon Network is coming to an end.
They are not coming to an end.
Apparently, I guess
that
they
is
are not.
blasphemy.
Yeah.
We
See,
grew up on Cartoon Network.
well, look at the photo right there. So they got,
Blasphemy.
but Josh, some of the Cartoon Network shows that they were saying they're going to miss if they were to go out of business, I never heard of them. Like, you used to watch something called Gumball?
Gumball. I know what it is, but I didn't watch that.
What's that weird show you would watch and I wake up in the middle of the night and they be doing like inappropriate things? Is that Cartoon Network?
What?
With some chicken and a robot.
Robot Chicken.
That's the
what it's
name of
called.
that's the name of the show.
Robot Chicken. What you mean?
Is that Cartoon Network?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Why would you watch?
Cartoon
That's
Network.
kind of that show weird.
Nah, it's not. I think a lot of the shows I used to watch come on Cartoon Network. It's not.
So would
weird.
you be upset if you found out Cartoon Network was no
Of
longer?
course, it's just a lot of shows. They produce a lot of shows.
Let me see the photo, Ryan. Let
I'm
me
just
see.
looking at it right now. It says
Can you make it bigger?
Cartoon Network
They got Batman.
hasn't shut down. The associated hashtag rest in peace Cartoon Network originates from animation workers ignited,
Oh.
an account advocating for unionization of the animators.
Oh, so they like, we will
They
shut
trying to
y'all down if
start
y'all don't pay
something.
us right.
Yeah, the
oh, okay.
animators
Well,
trying
they
to
really
start
started because I was like, no, not
Yeah,
Cartoon
'cause
Network.
Cartoon Network
Yeah, the
raised
Powerpuff
generations.
Girls, all that, right.
Yeah,
Grew
they-
up on that right
and
there.
at night it gets to more adult type, like Adult Swim. So
yeah,
some of the
with that
Cartoon
nasty
Network
robot
stuff,
and that nasty chicken.
right? Some of the Cartoon
You said some of
Network
the
stuff.
nasty?
I don't mean nasty, but some of it airs on Cartoon Network and Adult Swim.
All right. I wanted to say, just to put a little disclaimer out here, I was a brand name girl till the news broke that allegedly Dior, you know the Dior
Yeah,
handbags,
it's
the
not
luxury.
allegedly. Yeah, I know.
It's
the
not
story.
allegedly?
It happened.
How they're selling like
They
it
got
only
raided.
cost them like $57
Yeah.
to make a bag that they charge $2,700 for.
European authorities raided their facility and found that they were had workers that were working.
Or they hire whoever they manufacture the bag. It
Right.
only costs them $57 to make a bag that they sell, even here in the United States, for almost $3,000.
Yeah.
Now I've always
I think
been
that was
like,
known though. That when you're buying a luxury bag, you're only buying the name.
I assume when I'm buying a luxury bag, I'm buying, a better
$100,000
quality.
leather strap.
No, a better quality of maybe leather or material, better
Nope.
stitching.
Nope.
That's why my whole mindset now on just buying strictly from the source, or because it's a whole like
Get you
no,
get
it's
you
a
one
thing
on
called
Canal
DH
Street,
Gate,
Canal
Temu.
Street in New York. Remember
Now
that,
some of them
Maria?
bags,
You said some of your friends.
they did not look like the real thing, Josh.
I mean, look, you buying something that costs the same as the fake one.
But I think it was like a
they
peace
both
of
the
mind
same
knowing that I
material.
got this from the company. It must
Yeah.
be certified. It must be official.
Validation. I don't need nobody's validation. I take something. Not that we wear fake things, but I'm like, who gonna check me?
Josh got me over there looking at his chains on his neck.
Hey, go ahead, take it to the bank for yourself.
You got me
Like,
over there looking at them real Josh.
Yeah, they real.
Don't get Josh
But if
wet.
they
Don't get in
weren't-
the swimming pool, Josh.
Hey, but if they weren't, Chad Johnson, he
Oh,
said
he
he used to
stands by
wear
that.
fake jewelry because ain't nobody gonna check him. He making millions of dollars.
Right. Who will think this is fake?
Right. So,
So
this
now
is just an
I'm just saying,
investment
I'm
for
just
me.
putting a disclaimer out there. I have changed my whole mindset about only strictly buying from like the source when you know they're just marking it up and you're just buying it because of their name anyway. One thing I'm upset about, Josh, you did not tell me. You know I love Eddie Murphy. He has a new Beverly Hills Cop on Netflix.
Josh, I think your mic unplugged.
Oh, shut the front door.
Like it just did though.
Oh, okay.
Now it's back.
Is
Yeah.
it back? Plug it in.
That's it.
Is it
That's
in? We'll pick back up on oh my
Just
God.
literally pick back up what you were saying. I guess.
Okay. On Netflix?
No, I think
On
it just did it.
It literally just did it 5 seconds ago.
okay, 3.
So pick back up
Okay.
on Eddie Murphy.
Josh,
Right.
Beverly Hills Cop. They got a new movie on Netflix. And when I clicked on it, I thought it was like, oh, it's probably one of the old Beverly Hills Cops. No, Eddie Murphy has a new movie out on Netflix, and no one told me. I'm disgusted by this.
Now, I saw that, but I thought it was an old one.
I did too. No, he has a brand new movie. You know, I love me some Eddie Murphy now.
Yeah, the only reason is I don't
love
know.
him in Shrek.
I think it's gonna be different. Yeah, we
I
love
love
his
him
movies.
in Shrek.
Even though I love his movies, I love his stand up comedy too. I absolutely, because he takes his comedic style from Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
But he in his own right is an icon. I like his movies some more than others. But now he makes a lot of family friendly movies.
Yeah, I mean, he's older now. He has
And-
kids.
Yes.
You
So
know.
I'm thinking maybe it was like that because it's not. I heard him say Axel Foley.
It's like Axel.
It ain't gonna be old school.
It's Axel
Foley.
F.
Yeah, I think it's about his children.
But
It's
he
Axel
still know how
Foley.
to get raunchy if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, but from him making the one movie, I think we watched a Christmas movie of his. It kind of get watered down when I'm like,
You do stuff
Eddie,
like that.
Eddie,
Yeah, you
what
want
are
him to
doing with
tap
that?
back into
Yeah,
80s Eddie.
tap back into his craft.
You
a
know what
little
we
bit
need
more.
to tap back into, Josh?
I'm
You
waiting.
ever heard of a show called Love Island?
Nope, I haven't.
And that's the problem. I feel like we're missing out on. I want to ask Ryan, but I know the mics are up today.
No, I got it picked up for
You good?
for now. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Love Island?
Yeah, I watched it.
You watch it?
Well,
Is there?
I did.
You
I
did? You
watched
know there's a
one
new
of
season
it.
out.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard it's really good.
So hold on, why'd you only watch one season?
Because the other season wasn't good.
No, they
I-
said this is like the
Right,
best
nah.
season
I don't-
ever.
I don't know why. I think I just watched one season. It took me so long to watch because it's like 40 episodes, and I just didn't have the energy to put it into another season.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
that
to watch
sometimes
40
happens. And
episodes.
sometimes they don't. Another season doesn't come back right away, and I lose interest. in the
Apparently,
show.
Odell Beckham Jr. had tweeted out about Love Island, this new season that's going on.
Really?
And so now I want to see what's going on because if he
Oh,
watching,
okay.
allegedly, I want to watch too.
So
but I
just
have a
'cause he
secret fantasy.
watching it, you watching it.
But this is my thing. I have a secret fantasy. I know I'm married, and okay, don't kill me for this.
Hold on, put me back on the screen.
No, I want to
What
go.
is your secret fantasy now?
I want to go on a dating show just to see if I would win.
Yeah, please let her go on a date.
You don't want to do that, Josh?
Take her from me, please.
No, like I feel like I want to go undercover on a dating show just to see how far I would advance into the
Hell
competition because I
no.
feel like I still got it.
The heck?
I feel like I could compete with the 20-year-old girls on there
You
trying to
go
get.
on there on that one show with the pop balloons, and they be popping balloons. I'm like, come over here.
All of
man.
that
I
show-
still want you.
Oh,
Come
Ryan,
on.
there's this show called
I'll
Pop
take
the
her.
Balloon or Find Love on YouTube, which is freaking hilarious. I want to go on that one too.
I think
Ain't
you'll-
nobody popping the balloon on me.
I think you would find a date on there. What is your point though? Like what? You're
I just want to see
married.
how far we get in the competition. I'm coming from them all.
Did
I
you
don't
not
care what race
compete-
you is, white, black,
Did you not
Asian.
compete enough when you?
I'm going to win your heart. I'm going to win your heart. It's not going to be like, oh, they got rid of the black girl.
What you
No,
gonna
I'm
do to win
advancing
their
into the
heart?
competition. Period.
That's
I know how to play.
Don't you feel like it's inappropriate? Look, what's she gonna do to win their heart, Ryan? Like, who?
Tui.
What? I'm out of here, man. Hey, this
No,
one.
are we out of time, Ryan?
Nah, it's just inappropriate.
Ryan, I think we out of time, right?
When someone's wife said that is inappropriate. If it was me on the other hand, I'm out of here. on
Oh, we
that.
love you guys so much for watching. I think we're out of time. See you. Have a wonderful day.